Good morning. Welcome to Veronica's Dreams Coaching and Tarot. So, we're going to do our daily reading today. I'm Karen. So, we're just going to take a look at current situation, the present influence, what we don't see, and what to watch for, and then the best thing ever. So, we're just going to have a real current energy. This is really meant for you when you see it. That's what I believe these are about, and it's a general reading, so it may or may not resonate. But we're going to use Runik Tarot, and I do personal readings. Link to my website's below. So let me take a second. What do we need to know today? What do we need to know today? Okay. Couple more shuffles. Okay. Current situation. Ooh, devil. Ooh. That's my nemesis. Sorry. So, present influence, please. What's the present influence? Five of Wands. Interesting. What we don't see. Knight of Wands. Didn't we just have that in a what we don't see? Maybe it was in one of my other readings, but I think so. What to watch for. Six of Wands. Best thing ever, and I'm not going to tell you what that is. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, so Moon is at the bottom of the deck. So that's a huge reminder, right? That things aren't always as they appear. So I would use today as like a little warning. Don't jump to conclusions. Definitely don't jump to conclusions. But we just don't know. It doesn't mean that what you think isn't happening. It just means make sure you're clear before doing anything rash, placing blame or, speaking, kind of out of turn. So not everything is as it appears today. Devil. So, today kind of might be revolved around something that you're very stuck on, addicted to. So it's a huge realm, right? The devil is a big realm of addiction to me. It also speaks about passions that may not be something that we talk about. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do believe this is so think about the devil this way. It can be a big addiction, and where I've done readings where it has been someone being addicted to drugs or porn. I've done a lot where it's like an addiction. It can also just mean that you're really stuck on something, or there is something in your life today that takes a lot of your attention. And to me, too, the devil energy is something maybe that you need to let go of, that you don't want to let go of, but you probably need to, or it's just something you can't get out of your mind. And depending, on all situations, it can be as little as I can't get off of my mind that, I'm stuck on the fact that I'm not cleaning every day, to the point of a little literal addiction. It's a big realm. So when I have this card in a reading, keep that in mind. You kind of can get a feel for this when you're doing a reading by the cards around it and the person you're doing a reading for. When you're doing a general reading, right, it could be any of a number of things depending on the person listening. So your present influence is the Five of Wands. Here's the problem. You are stuck. It's something that you're stuck on because, so this Five of Wands normally is about, kind of conflict, maybe some, drama, conflict. it has a handful of things, but in this deck it feels a little different to me. It feels like it's almost like I'm stuck. You know what? I'm gonna read. I don't think you're gonna say yes. You have, Karen. You've read on that one. I don't think I have, but I do like this one because it is a little bit different in the fact that she's tied up and she's angry. Five of Wands should they say it's always represented anger and chaos and confusion. This is not a happy card to receive. The old Vikings way as we knew them lasted up until the 11th century. They celebrated and worshipped the old gods of the Nordic. Okay, the rise of Christianity put an end to these beliefs. See, this is actually an interesting deck because you can learn a little bit about the Vikings. But anyway, the key words are constricted beliefs, conflict, unable to trust, incapability of ideas, confrontation. So with this here, I feel like it could be, being stuck on one idea and being unable to release that idea, come up with new ideas. So there is an idea. So I would lead this more to being an idea. Doesn't have to be, but that Five of Wands says that this influence is just. I feel like you're fighting something, and it's frustrating to you, and you're fighting this devil. And I think that I do feel like I'm going to go back to one of the meetings I talked about where it's something that you probably should release, but you don't want to. And that's the energy I'm getting after talking about that Five of Wands a little bit, because she looks so angry. And I do feel like, like what is this really? The thing is, this is what's revolving the day, right? But what we don't see is there is something, new coming in. And I feel like there's almost a release here. Or I don't think it's this aha moment because it's not a sword. And I feel like swords are more that, but I feel like this is, I do feel like some energy is going to pull you away from this. So there's going to be some excitement or something that pulls you away, because the way that, so the devil and the Five of Wands are up here. This is going away from the reading. And I look a lot like at that. And I feel like it's like, you're going to release yourself a little bit. The, what to look for is the Six of Wands. And I do believe, so we've got the 5, 6, and 7 of Wands here. So there is an evolution, and the 6 being, recognition, understanding things better. And there's a lot of wands here. Actually, these are all wands other than the devil. So this is something that you're fairly passionate about, or it's a someone or something you're passionate about. And I feel like the Six of Wands is look for that recognition today. Look for those, there is something that will help you see what you need to see. And I feel like that today will be a day where you start coming out of this and not feeling so frustrated and angry. It doesn't mean that you're over being stuck on this. I don't believe that. But what I do believe is that you'll be able to deal with this frustration differently. So a lot of times we can be stuck on something and we don't necessarily stop being stuck on them. But if we can learn to deal with it differently, heck, come on. That's half the battle right there. Because addicts in general, and I don't know a ton, so you could totally correct me if I'm wrong, but you're always going to be addicted to something. It's how you handle that addiction. So let's say you're addicted to alcohol, right? And you drink. Well, you're giving into that addiction. Doesn't mean an alcoholic is no longer addicted to alcohol, but they handle it differently, so they don't drink. And that's kind of what I'm getting at, is sometimes those things that we're stuck on, we don't necessarily release and they don't necessarily go away, but how we handle them and how we deal with them is the key to healing and getting better and dealing with this situation. So I want to say that because I think that has a lot to do with it. And I feel like this can also be that moment where you realize this is frustrating. I'm so frustrated with this thing that I can't get off my mind, and I'm done with it. And I feel like this is moving away from it. And then your Six of Wands is recognizing that. And I feel like not only will you recognize that, I feel like someone else will recognize you as well. So there will be a pat on the back or something that makes you feel good today. And watch for that. Watch for those things that make you feel good, like the recognition in another life area that it doesn't necessarily have to be about this. I mean, that takes our mind off of this devil thing we're focused on. So the Seven of Wands is our best thing ever today. And I feel like that's really just about, so he's standing on the cliff, he's on higher ground, he's able to defend himself. Now I would say that be careful because he's on the edge of the cliff, and if he doesn't take care of matters, then he could go over. But I do feel like, I do feel like that you will be able to defend yourself and how you feel, and your stance on this whole situation. Keep in mind too, this moon at the bottom of the deck is a very important card, because I think this whole thing could be, this Five of Wands may be taking something up a notch that doesn't need to be taken up a notch. It just may be just because you're not seeing things as they really are. So that's an important card. So I would just keep that in mind today. Know that you could get frustrated with something that you think should be a certain way or an idea, and know too that you are moving away from that, and that watch for those recognition pieces today. Also, the best thing ever, you will stand your own ground. You are on a higher ground. You will succeed, in other words. It just may be a little frustrating today. I feel like today may be frustrating, but as long as you watch for that recognition, I think you'll be okay. So there you have it. It's a little longer than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. So please leave a comment, hit the like button. I appreciate you all, and thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.